All right, it's time for the Vandal. The assassin that has become a Vandal. Let's scroll all the way to the beginning. Let's see what we have cooked up here. This is what the tree looks like. We start with Backstab. Very straightforward. It stabs people in the back, deals a lot of damage. In the zone is a buff that increases their power efficiency, which means you use less resources. And in our case, because we are pip using class, we have reduced cooldowns and some damage bonus for behind shenanigans. 2 passive cloud clusters in here. Node clusters. We have Shiv in here. It applies poisons. We have 2 options, a Sap Strike or a Septic Strike, applying either a slow or a Black Mantle. A Black Mantle is the debuff that stops healing. Another passive in here, more damage and stats. We have our Kidney Shot in here, very straightforward. It's a stun. The more pips we have, the more stun duration we get. We have unlocked an extra minor in here. Then we have Efficient Poisons. We get a stacking poison damage bonus every time we apply poison to ourselves. Stacks up to 5 times. And then we have Poison Mastery in here, which buffs up our Shiv. Normally, when you do a Sap Strike or a Septic Strike, you get that effect once. With the Poison Mastery on all our following attacks, we also get that same effect. So that is very good, and notably the Black Mantle. We have Blink Step in here, which is just a gap closer. Dismounts target, and we can use it when we're mounted or in stealth. And then the promotion class itself, the Vandal, it is marked as a melee control. What do we get? We get attack power, we get some poison damage cap, and some movement and hard control intensity. It just makes the CC last longer, movement and hard CC. We can wear different types of weapons. I like daggers because low cooldowns. Then the enhancements that we have here, the Kidney Shot, which is the stun, applies Kiss of Death, debuff that increases damage by 10%. In the zone, now has a chance to refund pips from attacks. It just means that every 4 seconds we get an extra pip when we do an attack. And Backstab now causes a Suppress, which is a pretty good CC. People can still move around, but all of their abilities will be blocked, so they can literally just move. Pretty awesome. The Irresistible passive in here, this is kind of the whole class identity. Well, not all of it, but big part of it. Whenever we apply CC, it drains 25 stamina every 2 seconds for 6 seconds, right? So it's 3 hits, 75 stamina, and we have on this particular guy only 120 stamina, so that is quite a bit. No stamina means no dodging, no retaliating, and no sprinting. Well, you can actually dodge, but you know. Blackjack Toss, new skill in here, long cooldown, but it is a long range stun, and it deals quite a bit of damage as well. The other passive node in here just gives me more damages, and we have taken the Plague Domain for our majors. Let's go over those. We have Poisoner in here. The Poison Blade, double attack that applies Deadly Poison. Deadly Poison is just a stronger version of a toxin that just deals more damage. And Poisoned Weapons passive in here. All damage with non-bow basic attacks deal poison damage. Since we got some poison damage scaling from the Vandal itself, that is quite nice. The other one that we have in here is Deadly Infector. Gives us the diffusion ability. If we have 2 poisons active on ourselves, so 2 poison buffs, it deals more damage. It deals quite a lot of damage, and the cooldown is pretty low. Plus, we get a new ultimate called Envenom, which applies all of the unlocked poisons that we have on enemies around us, plus giving us all the poison buffs. So that is a slowing poison, a black mantle poison, an instant poison, and a damage over time poison. We get 4 of them. Also, by using the ultimate, we instantly generate 4 stacks of our efficient poisons, increasing our poison and damage bonus, which is good stuff. Okay, the Spirit Whip minor makes our auto attacks splash because we have so much utility with the basic attacks. This just splashes it to 3 targets, which is just really great. We got Sturdy in here to make ourselves a little bit more tanky. When we are above 85% health, we take 15% less damage. And we have Touch of Rot in here. Our 3rd basic attack applies a debuff, reducing support power and personal healing modifier. so that is all good stuff. Stat-wise, I've gone with Dex because I do want to do damage. I think it's a good class for a combination of damage and control, so Dex and the rest in Constitution. Alternatively, you could build it differently, like more Constitution if you want, but we went with some damage in here as well. All right, let's go over how this plays. From stealth, there is not a whole lot to do. We just have our backstab and our blink step. But the good thing about this is, since we are a little bit squishy, we can wait for our team to engage and then pick our time to go in there. How do we play this? Well, when we teleport in here, the first thing I'm going to do is ultimate. We ult. It gives us some damage reduction, applies all of the poisons and all the things. As you can see, this whole list of buffs under my face. There they are. Applying all the poisons. So all of our auto attacks are applying all these poisons. They're splashing through. And you can see a whole list of debuffs on the dummy. It's the Black Mantle, it's a Touch of Rot, damage over time poisons, slowing poisons, all of that stuff. So we get in there, we apply the ultimate, and then auto attack gets to splash all these debuffs over to the team. And then the skills we have in our toolkit is the backstab, which is, you know, not really there for damage. It's a suppress, so it's just a CCing ability. If we use it from behind, it will do a little bit more damage, quite a bit more damage actually. So if you position properly, you can do some damage with that. And then we have our Blackjack Toss, which is a ranged ability. Let's throw it on the dummy over there. Bomb, as you can see, quite a bit of damage, and it is a stun, but a very long cooldown. Let's get some more pips in here. We have another stun in the form of our Kidney Shot, which takes our pips. It's just a nice little kick and stuns them for like 5 seconds. And then we have the Poison Blade in there. And we have on number 2 the Septic Strike and the Sep Strike that will give us poison buffs as well. The reason why it is important to have poison buffs is for the skill down here, the Diffusion. So if we pop our buff, our in the zone, reducing our cooldowns, let's stack this up. And then we use the Diffusion. You can see the cooldown is quite short on that. Like you get to use it and 2 auto attacks and it's back up again. So a little bit more detail of how this works. You always want to have 2 buffs active. So you ultimate, you auto attack, you splash your things around, and then you have your Diffusion up. That is going to deal a lot of damage. As you can see, it hits for like 500, which is quite a bit. Then the ult drops off. Then we reapply our Black Mantle Poison and our Deadly Poison with these abilities, and then we can go back to smacking things with the Diffusion again. And in between auto-attacking and trying to do some damage, we obviously have the CC in the Backstab, the Blackjack Toss, and the Kidney Shot. So I think this is a very, very potent class because of all the debuffs that you're applying on your auto-attack. Make it really powerful. There's some good CC in there, locking down single targets. Pretty amazing. The only drawback you have in here is the fact that you are quite squishy. You are wearing leather and you are melee. You don't have any form of self-healing or barriers, so you really have to pick your spots where you engage. That's where stealth comes in. But also you need to have a good team that supports you with good healing, with good barriers, with good buffs to make this a viable raiding class. I personally think it is definitely worth building a team around because it has a great utility. Applying Black Mantle is huge, plus all the other debuffs, and the damage potential of this one is also pretty high.